Hey everyone, this is a little more in-depth video, intro video on how to utilize the Historic Aerials website. In this one, as opposed to the shorter one, we'll go into a little more information and details about how the site works and why. Um, but if you've not been on here before, or if you're just checking it out, the best way to get started is we'll just start with going to the viewer. You can click here or up here. And then when you get to the viewer, you will see a screen like this. It's a map, and it may ask you about giving it your location. You can choose to do that or not. But from there, we can do a search. Let's see, we'll take a look at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And as you can see, in Chicago, we have layers going all the way back to 1938. And if you want to take a look at that imagery, all you have to do is click the aerials and then choose the year you would like to take a look at. And if you click on each year, it will populate through the different layers of imagery. Some may take a little longer to load than others, depending on the original resolution. And just to give you an idea, as you zoom in, certain layers will look really crisp and clear, and others may look a little less so. That is just due to the original scan resolution of the imagery, but whatever you see in the viewer is the quality of the imagery, the quality of the scans that we received originally, and you can just click through and take a look at anything you would like. And there's also several other tools as well as topographic maps that you can take a look at for a location just by selecting through these different options. And then there's some things that we offer, like some comparison tools. These are pretty neat and fun to play with. You can utilize the swipe tool is probably the most common and most enjoyed version of our comparison tools, where you can have two different years next to each other and kind of get an instant gratification of what the changes were over time. And then the other option is the little spotlight, and then also you can add things like roads, or it can say what county or city it's located in. Just by checking the box, it will populate that information on the screen. And if you need to turn these off, you can always do so by just unchecking whatever overlays and the X to turn off the comparison tools. And say you've found an area you'd like to make a selection of, you can just use this purchase image or print. If you are not logged in, it'll be worded a little differently, and you'll be required to register at this point when you hit save to gallery. You can also adjust and modify the selection. However, I discourage doing that too much, because the smaller you shrink this down, if you're trying to get a more specific area, it's actually the same equivalent as to being zoomed in. So if you zoomed in too close, the imagery can break down and start to tile or blur. And if you shrink that, you're kind of doing the same thing as zooming. So I don't always recommend adjusting the selection square. So we'll just save an item and show you how the process of purchasing goes. You can save this to your gallery. We'll call it Wrigley Field and save. Once the save process is completed, you will see it in your gallery. That can also be found at any time when you're logged in by clicking My Gallery. So let's say you're at the viewer and you've already saved an item. You can just go to My Gallery. If you want to go back to that location in the viewer, you can just click on the thumbnail and it'll take you back. And again, you're right back where you were before. If you're interested in making a purchase of an image that you've selected, you just click the shopping cart and it will take you to the purchase options screen. From here, you can choose what type of image you would like to select. And I will get into the details about the pixels because that can be confusing for quite a few people. We also offer print orders, which are done through a local third-party aerial company, and they have a large format printer, so they're very familiar with aerial photography, and they'll do a pretty good job of getting that pinpointed for you. Another option we have is additional years down here. So what you can do is you just save an area once. You don't have to save it for every single year. If you'd like to purchase multiple years of the same location, just save the location and then select the years from these thumbnails by just checking the box of the years that you would like to make a purchase of, just like that. As far as the pixels go, in this example, we are zoomed in. We're pretty close. We're taking a tighter, smaller section. And those instances always stick to the 1800 pixel resolution images. These 3600 pixel resolution images are better for a much larger area, say like an entire subdivision on maybe a large farm, and that'll allow you to take a larger piece of land and maintain that resolution upon zooming in on your download. The more pixels will not give you a better photo than what you see in the viewer. That is the best the photo will look. So paying for more pixels does not necessarily give you a better image, and at times it can actually degrade the photo if you're too close. And then the 7200 pixels is like the same as the 36, it just on a bigger scale. So if you want to take like a section of a city or a small town and you want to get the entire coverage of a small town, maybe you want to do the 7200 pixels. And that'll allow you to take a much larger area, but then after you download the image, you can still zoom in and maintain whatever that original resolution was when you were zooming in and out on the viewer. But in order to make a purchase, all you have to do is just choose the file type. JPEGs and PNG, they're really the same. The quality is going to be the same. The quality is going to be the same with all of these. The difference between these two and the GeoTIFF is that the GeoTIFF is georeferenced. It has spatial data and it can be drag and dropped into like a GIS software, plug and play typically. Sometimes there's some extra steps depending on the software you're using, but these GeoTIFFs have the geo information encoded into the image so that you can utilize it in a GIS software. If you don't know what that is or how to do that, you don't need the GeoTIFF. Just stick with the JPEG or the PNG. And in order to place an order, it's as simple as you check your box. As you can see, my total here is higher than that, but the reason being is these boxes that I've checked down here are also being calculated into that total. And the pricing breakdown on imagery is pretty simple. I will show you that in 1 second. Let me go ahead and add these to the cart, and I will show you the pricing breakdown. Any imagery that is newer than 2000 is only $5 for the JPEGs or the PNGs with the smaller pixel size, and $10 for the GeoTIFFs. If you're purchasing older imagery, the anything prior to 2000 is going to be $10 or $20 for those smaller 1800 pixel downloads, and then the topographic maps are $3 and $5 for the GeoTIFFs. So we've got these items, they're loaded into our cart, and we would like to purchase them. All you have to do is go to your cart and click the checkout button option. In here, you would have the ability, you can enter your credit card information, and in doing so, once that's completed, then I will show you the process of going in and generating and downloading those images. So let's do this real quick and then we'll come back. Once you have your card information entered, click complete purchase, and then you'll get this thank you for your purchase screen. From here, sometimes people get lost, they miss this button. This is how you go download your images, where it says download my image. If you miss that, all you have to do is go click on your dashboard. It'll take you to the same location. Either way, this button or this button take you to this screen. And as you can see, these have these little gears. As it says up here, you just click the gears to generate the images. You can go through and generate all of these purchases. And this may take a little bit of time depending on the size of the images, the original resolution, as well as the amount of pixels you downloaded. The more pixels, the longer it takes to generate. It doesn't take too long. But once that's done, and a couple of these have already finished up, you just click the download arrow and it'll save it. You may get an option depending on how your browser is set up to save it or open it, but most instances it'll save it to whatever your downloads location is set for your browser. And then down here you can see it has the option, and I just click that and boom, there's my 2014 image. And if I click on this one, I will have the 1983. Watermarks are now removed, and you have that image to do with as you please. So something else to look for is, as you can see, these are named Wrigley Field. A lot of people may add a year, but then you'll end up with a year in the name on the download. It's better just to name it after your location, and then it'll have a dash with the year after it. And the years of the images you purchase will be listed here, your purchase date information, and then the source of the original photos. So like this 2014 came from the USDA, and the date range of the mosaic that image was taken from is listed here on the right. So that's really the process. It's pretty simple. And if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@historicaerials.com, or you can give us a call at the information is down here on the contact us page. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to helping you get whatever imagery needs you have. Thanks.